Rex, we are in a public park. Do you feel anxiety now?
Well, I noticed everyone that's in the area.
Veteran Army medic Sergeant Rex Stolniker says his post-traumatic stress has grown worse over the last year.
Nightmares, depression. The last thought on your mind is having to face death here, you know, on our own soil.
12 months ago, we sat down with Rex and his wife Kathy and learned about the bloodshed he experienced on tours in both Iraq and Afghanistan and how it paled compared to the horrors he witnessed during the massacre at Fort Hood, Texas.
I yelled, "Shooter." It's like the rounds never stop firing.
Major Nadal Hassan opened fire on a room full of soldiers on that Texas Army base. 13 people died and more than 24 were injured. But after more than 3 years and delay after delay, the trial for Hassan has yet to start.
I mean, I can't get any closure on it. You know, the events of that day still play through my head practically every day.
Rex received this subpoena to testify as a key witness, but he's not just looking for justice inside a courtroom.
The president refuses to call this a terrorist act.
Workplace violence. That is the clinical classification the government uses to describe the Fort Hood shootings.
This was part of a terrorist activity.
The Army knew he was in contact. The FBI knew he was in contact.
Outraged families of the fallen and the wounded turned to videos and internet petitions to raise the profile of their campaign to have the massacre at Fort Hood labeled a terrorist attack.
We are a coalition of about 160 members, and we have written to our senators and our congressmen.
Without the terror label, Kathy says survivors can expect smaller medical benefits compared to troops hurt in combat.
Combat-related special compensation. It could be anywhere from $600 to $1,000 per month, depending on what your status was at the time of the shooting. So it's significant.
Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander's office responded with the following email saying, in part,
Senator Alexander is aware of the tough issues surrounding the Fort Hood shooting and is carefully considering the case, which could come up in the Senate when it debates the defense authorization bill later this year. What does that sound like to you?
Political rhetoric, you know, it's just trying to blow us off.
To me, it's a non-answer answer.
10 News contacted Senator Bob Corker's office this week. They responded with this statement. We thank the Stolnikers for their service and sacrifices on behalf of our country and believe that the survivors and heroes of the Fort Hood shooting should receive all appropriate care and benefits. In response to concerns raised by the Stolnikers and the Fort Hood survivor community, we have asked the Department of Defense why they have not classified this as a terrorist attack.
What's the reluctance to call it a terrorist attack?
Well, I'm not sure.
It's lost on you. You don't get it.
I don't get it. It was definitely a terrorist act, and terrorist act being a known enemy, and he has presented himself as an enemy of the United States. And when he came in, he shouted, Allah Akbar, and which is praise be to Allah, his God. And then he began firing.
The Stolnikers continue to seek counseling. They have no complaints with the quality of care from the Veterans Administration, but they do say justice is too long in coming, both inside and outside the courtroom.